Who is this Hanuman that Mbaku and the Jabari people give glory to in the Black Panther movies? Well, he is a real god from Hinduism. In the real world, Hanuman is an extremely strong Hindu god with the appearance of a monkey. Yes, Hindu god from Hinduism, and yes, Black Panther takes place in Africa, and yes, that's confusing because Hinduism isn't necessarily associated with Africa. Or is it though? Let's take a trip back in history and consider that India was a major power of trade during the times of the Silk Road in BCE times. And even before the Silk Road or the Silk Routes were established, the Indian merchant ships sailing across the oceans between Africa, Arabia, Persia, and Southeast Asia carried goods, furs, and spices. But the Indian sailors carried stories, beliefs, and philosophies that they brought to Africa. And of course, they also returned to Indian shores with many African stories, beliefs, and philosophies. So there is a historical connection between India and Africa. And since Lord Hanuman is the god of martial arts, combat, and meditation, and scholarship, yeah man, that guy knows his stuff, there was a lot of reason to worship Lord Hanuman for a lot of people, including many warriors who were the muscle for these merchant ships sailing all over the world. So it's easy to see how Hinduism found its way to Africa. Now, the Black Panther writers took this aspect of history and thought, yeah, the Jabari people worship a gorilla god. Let's name that god after the monkey god from Hinduism, Lord Hanuman. It's a really nice, creative, and logical tie-in of real history into a fictional African nation. Of course, real Africa has its own monkey appearance deities like Nji from Cameroon or Gekre from Côte d'Ivoire. And in fact, Black Panther's comics chose those exact names for the Jabari's gorilla god. But the movies went with the monkey god Hanuman. Probably because he's simply more internationally known. In fact, Hanuman is believed to be the inspiration for the Monkey King Sun Wukong from China's 16th century novel Journey to the West, which is just the inspiration behind Dragon Ball and One Piece. No big deal. Oh yeah, and Luffy takes a lot from Hanuman, but I'm gonna do a whole different video on that. So I know many were confused that a Hindu god appears in Black Panther. Well, now you know that there is a real logic to it. It actually makes sense that a god from Hinduism appears in the fictional but African nation of Wakanda. On top of that, Lord Hanuman just really works for the Jabari people. He's a monkey god and an insanely strong and mentally centered warrior. The Jabari symbol is the white gorilla opposing the Black Panther, and mentality-wise, they are warriors and they follow that warrior code. And yeah, the Wakandans are strong with their vibranium and science, of course, and I love all that. But the Jabari keep it OG, and they're about strength and acceptance and not constantly reaching for more tech trinkets. So the OG warrior god, Lord Hanuman, as their worship, yeah, that's just great writing. Well done, writers, well done.